The video title is a red herring or blue meanie. Really good idea. Don't forget a video on untraceable weapons. Man with a golden gun walking around with ordinary looking items making a pistol. Might have been a one-shot, might have been a magazine fed. Versus water pipes in your yard. Toys in the attic, I'm crazy. Or the actual method of doing it. There are really hard to find types of ammunition that are their own barrel. They're an integral barrel cartridge. The trouble is, they're just patents. Nobody really uses them because they're heavy. Because you basically get an entire gun barrel, make a muzzle loader out of it. I mean, literally, it's the same thing. It just doesn't have a handle and trigger and hammer and all that kind of stuff. And you drop it into something with a trigger. Yeah. And you can base it exactly on an original patent for one of the first flare guns. I'm going to be doing a video about it. It's a muzzle loading flare gun. The cartridge goes in muzzle loading, but it is a cartridge-based system, and it just has kind of a chamber to hold it. You can also make one that doesn't have a chamber, where you literally have what looks like it's a trigger. You can even make it to where it's a piece of tubing you squeeze and have something shoot out, and you make it to where it has no chamber, a non-chamber gun, where you press the barrel against it and it hangs on somehow. Maybe it has a set of pins that holds it onto it, so that there's no chamber. If you make it to where it's an unconventional weapon, it can be declared an any other weapon in the United States for $5. But basically you have what looks like a shotgun shell, or really, it would look exactly, as a matter of fact, it would look like one of those air gun cartridges that you could get that has an integral air pocket in it and a pellet gun cartridge and a trigger on the back shaped like a primer, and you put it into a conventional gun to fire pellet gun pellets. They were outlawed in Britain, but you can still get them and make them here. That would be a very good example. Basically something about as bulky as a really long rifle cartridge that only fires 22 caliber bullets, which is basically what the 3D printing plastic gun craze is going towards. You just end up, you have to have a metal barrel. The rest of it, almost all of it, can be made out of plastic or any other dang thing. The only thing you have to have is a hardened firing pin, which can be as simple as just a metal nub on the end of a piece of plastic that happens to be durable, or fiberglass. So that'll be the entire video. The trouble with this is, it's more trouble than it's worth, and if you're doing it explicitly to make it invisible to to metal detectors and x-ray machines, side scanning and non-x-ray technology scanners will still pick it up and detect a barrel. And unless you make the barrel liner incredibly thin and only worth 1 or 2 shots, literally making a single shot throwaway item gun, which has already been done, all you've done is succeeded in making something that will get you jail time, not be effective as a weapon. And honestly, you're doing it for political or ideological or hacker reasons. But a metal barrel pen, they do exist, and some of them are made out of high-grade steel and will fire a 22 quite nicely, or an antenna off of an old toy radio. So the reason I'm not going to do a video on untraceable weapons is, depending on your meaning for the word untraceable, it's an irrelevant subject. That's one of the reasons I dropped the subject into a group of 4 videos on the channel. I dumped all the data on a bunch of things that just went nowhere. I mean, it's data. The videos won't get any views. None of my videos do. But the links are sitting there for people to discover what put me down those rabbit holes. I should just call them munitions rabbit hole videos. Anyway, you know what? When I was a young man, the National Youth Rifle Association, NRA affiliate, gave every teenage boy or girl a free .22 rifle. I got a Target Master 22. It had a slide-in bullet thing, hold about 9 to 10 .22 long rifles, and also shot 22 longs and rat shot in 22 shorts. I never wore short breeches as a boy. It was a shame if they said you need to go back to short breeches. 22 is the best universal thing there. 8mm Mauser German, them ordnance was real cheap in 2000 because I had a German Mauser, well, spell it right. Used 8mm and it was neat. Next. The elevator sight was excellent for me. I could daub a buck with a next shot with 2 weeks learning. Damn good, $100 gun. Yeah. 1999 October, I bought it in Arkansas from a friend. I've been trying to look for the universal 22 caliber tube magazine, pump action, and or pseudo auto 22 caliber rimfire gun that can be modified just barely to do 22 Magnum properly, and 22 long rifle short and everything else, which is really cheap to get and honestly you should stick with, badly, but it would still do it. And it would also take CB and BB caps. Moral of the story, don't alter the damn gun. Leave it the way it is. It'll shoot any dang thing. And they made there was a mod for it where you took the barrel, slid it back, redid it to where it would definitely taper the rifling perfectly, so that even the CB and BB caps, which are basically just a cap gun cap with a BB pellet stuck in it, they're just metal instead of plastic BB gun caps, would come out of the barrel properly. The reason that's neat is the way it would handle just random bullets. It was very interesting. I'm interested in that because you can scale it up to a 12 gauge, by the way. So why do I have, someone asked me, what are you doing with your 3 channels? Well, there's 4 of them and I have no idea. Why did I go on or get on the subject of firearms? Because it's considered a singularly American thing to talk about firearms, number 1. Number 2, I might be just fishing for views. Hasn't worked. Number 3, I got asked some really pertinent questions in a long string of questions after doing a video on just trying to find out what the laws are, and finding out that the laws aren't really laws. They're general guidelines by by an organization called the ATF, which originally started out, it's not alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives, and whatever else it is this week, the Bureau. It's the Taxation Bureau for alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. It's for collecting fees. That's all it ever was supposed to be. And then they gave them the power to do all sorts of nasty shit to everybody. But thanks for the trip down the memory lane. I got to hold one of these things once. And I fired an inconsistent shooting. I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, you can load anything 22 in it. Here. And he just showed me a bag of just random ammunition. Next thing I want to point out, you can get, it's hard to get them, but you can get Magnum Speed and almost Magnum Performance 22 long rifle bullets and 22 long bullets, which are just long rifle bullets with full-on, way too much propellant in them. You have to have a bull barrel, or you reline it with proper new barrel material. But you can get those to fire, and they come out just about as good as a Magnum. They're not as heavy, because Magnum bullets are normally much heavier, and they're made in such a way that they do different things. But this allows you to get away with using literally anything 22 to do the job. And yeah, there are people who are converting over AR-15s to the plinking 22 rimfire because, as say what everybody else says, it's fun to shoot them, and it's not really for self-defense anymore. And don't underestimate the effect of being hit over and over and over again by a bunch of 22 caliber bullets if you're an opponent. You don't want to go through that. It's a really miserable way to frickin' not die. I can think of a million things I'd rather do. But then again, a 12 gauge loaded with number 4 buckshot can be as bad as being hit by 4 magazines worth. But yeah, I'm kind of looking for this rifle, mostly because I want to figure out how it works. The subtleties, which I'm not very good at, obviously, intrigue me. No, I don't want someone to find one and donate it. I want to find the information about it and make my own. Under the radar. I'm a submersible. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. But yeah, the untraceable weapon is the one you make. Not that that whole thing was all about a lead up to that answer. Thanks for watching. Bye.